Microphone's not working. There we go. What's up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to Alan Dresser. Minor blip there. My Microsoft updated its Windows a couple of days ago, and OBS has updated, and it's fucked all of my audio devices. We love this. The one thing that I hadn't fixed yet was my microphone, but we're done now. Anyway, back with us again today. We have Shen, B, Katie, Tats, Mars, and Steve. How are you all feeling?
Party.
Good.
Good, thanks.
Love. Love. So, we're back with the Gouda guys. The Gouda guys are, of course, making their way through the Deep Dark, as we have discovered last time. The Deep Dark being the... I'll tell you what, this music is a little bit too intense for my liking. Let me just change it. If
Where
this
the
works out
skeletons
better.
live, right?
Ah, there we go. It's softer now. Oh, soft music. Also, I can't tell just by looking who we're missing. Is it Isabel? Where are you on the screen? Are you not here? Oh, you're way up at the top. You went to the Standing Stones. That's right. I remember now.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
Okie dokie. Right, so, basically, as a recap from last time, as I know that a couple of you were not here, by the way, hello, Crooked. I know that a couple of you were not here last time, so you weren't able to witness quite everything that happened, and it was a chunky session. Quite a lot did go down. Essentially, you managed to trace your steps, Victor in particular, to like the gateway to an alley between some buildings in Dreedle. And going through that alley, you notice that you entered into a different kind of a plane of existence. It took a little bit of to and fro in and figuring it out, but you realise that you are now in what in the homebrew I'm calling the Deep Dark, where of course it is it's something different in the manuals of D&D. The Deep Dark is an underground realm inhabited by subterranean dwellers. In this case, it's the name that I've applied to this sort of shadowy, upside-down version of the real material plane. So as you are still walking through Dreedle, you are seeing people around now. You're seeing that the sort of saturation has been pulled out of everything. It doesn't look so vibrant and colourful. Even with how dull it was on the surface, this is now a much different kind of place even beyond that. You can see that there are traps that have been laid around by idle hands of rogues trying to practice their crafts. And you also see that there are dragon folk, dragonborns, those of draconic bloodlines, like Aldrin. And there's somebody who Victor has spotted way down the way. Now, Victor trying his best, absolutely, to put on the best performance of I'm just a rogue, I belong here too, did such a poor role that thankfully his stealth was good enough that nobody would have noticed anyway. But as he gets to this crossroads, you notice a few things. You have noticed that, for one, the place is filled to the brim with rogues and with draconic people. But all of them kind of minding their own business, keeping to themselves. A couple of them in groups of two, but that's it. You also have noticed so far that Rumpelstiltskin is inside of his shop. And you can see that Arelli, who was Victor's kind of cohort in the orphanage when they were kids, is way down at the end of the lane and looking rather cool. Let me show you their... Hang on, that's the wrong way to do that. Just show you their artwork. I still am doing it wrong. Why am I doing it wrong? Oh, I need to right-click, that's why. Okay, there you go. This is Arelli. Bald, scars across the eye, and although she has very much the same kind of facial structure and look about her, you can tell just by looking from where you are, Victor, that she looks a bit taller. She's got a bit more of a robust ribcage and shoulders, and she's not got any hair anymore. The scar that she has across her eye is very different from the one that she had previously, which was underneath the left side of her chin. Just certain things that, although she looks broadly the same, you could tell by looking at her that she's gone through some changes, although what you couldn't quite put your finger on. She also looks like she is talking to somebody and they are speaking sign language. Um, now that you are all back here, Aldrin, you were going to talk to this draconic veteran. Um, Victor and Ruby were approaching this crossroads, and where we left off, Ash and Briar were, as you were the two people absent last time, because you're both clerics of the same goddess. You were both basically focusing on your religion. You were focusing on your worship, the object of your worship, together. So that's basically what you were doing to pass the time in the last session. Is there anything in particular that Briar and Ash would like to do first and foremost to bring us back up to date? I'm not going to ask everybody to do the whole recap thing because a third of the group was missing. It wouldn't be fair that they would have to recap something that they weren't here for.
I mean, I was following Briar's lead, so I would assume that we went somewhere that was cozy and quiet and somewhere we could talk to her goddess and my goddess now.
So to make it so that you weren't separated from the group, you've been following the group around. So you've been keeping to the sort of background, but you have been with them because otherwise you wouldn't have known where to go. So you've not been in the dark in some calm back alley that otherwise you would never have found your way back to everybody.
I guess then that we were just trailing behind and keeping quiet while we just conversed about it then.
That was more or less the way that we worked it, because otherwise, if everybody, this is the way that I figure it, right? You're all very a close knit group. You prefer to stick together. If you two stayed behind in a quiet room, then we would have spent the whole session with the rest of the group staying with you in a quiet room, so that you didn't get left behind, and it would have been a session of nothing. So, hence why you followed the group instead of the group waiting with you. But you're able to worship and walk, and the way that we basically figured it out was the fact that you're both worshipping the goddess of nature, and so in your worship, rather than it being a form of worded prayer, that you are instead worshipping the ground and the flowers and the creatures and the sky, and just taking in nature and worshipping it in an active way. That's basically the way that we figured it, or I figured it. But yeah, now that you are back with us in the session, is there anything, Katie and Tats, that you would think your characters would be doing now that you're sort of 3, 2, 1 back in the room?
I mean, Katie, are you there?
Yeah, I had my mic muted because I was coughing. Now are we able to kind of find someplace, like, is this downtime?
This is not downtime, no. You're sort of exploring this new realm that you've gained access to.
Oh, so we're
You've passed through a
still in
portal,
the...
and you're walking through. You're walking around the city.
Okay, and this is like still the deep dark?
Yeah.
Okay, I think like...
Yeah, I'll tell you what. We can even transition this to nighttime so that it looks darker.
Okay. I think maybe like we would be a little bit distracted. So if we're trying to worship and contact ear and kind of strengthen the connection, we might be a little bit too distracted to do like a real proper job of that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like a little bit of utterances between Ash and I, um, every once in a while, but kind of like we're still got our head on a swivel almost. And
So sort of taking a
I
passive, a very passive approach to this walk through the city then.
yeah, and
Sticking
letting
with
the
the
others
group,
kind of
paying
lead
attention.
lead the way since
Yeah.
we're a little distracted, I guess.
Is there anyone in particular that you think that you would be following with? Would you go more with Aldrin, more with Victor, Ruby, or Isabel? Isabel's gone back to the Standing
Um,
Stones. Victor and Ruby are sticking
I,
together, and Aldrin's doing their own thing.
I think I would be like a little interested in figuring out what these draconic guards you said they were called.
Not guards. The one down at the bottom here is just it's called a dragon veteran. That's just the character's stat block basically. That's what we're drawing on them from. But it's basically because dragons and draconic people in this realm in this world are they're seen with suspicion. They're seen with a narrowed eye because people see them as monsters, and the butt end of a story where a hero has to go and slay the dragon, and that's the right and proper way to go about things. And so people who have had these draconic ancestries, or who are dragonborn, or are just full dragons, they are kind of ostracized and kept to one side in society. Hence why Aldrin here, who is a member of your party, who is a draconic bloodline elf, has this need to go out and seek these people to try and find what's going to happen, what they should expect, if there's any support that they can get, what kind of problems other people have seen and heard, and are there any places for them to go to belong. So these are just the ostracized of society who have found their way into this sort of back channel of a realm so that they can hide away from the nastiness and the arseholes of the world, essentially.
Yeah, I think I would be interested in seeing what Victor and Ruby
Cool.
are going to discuss or
And
talk to these guards.
Ash, are you sticking with Briar as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with Briar, and we're gonna go and see what is going on exactly.
Okay. Well, I can only imagine that Victor wanting to go and see Rumpelstiltskin and Arelli are probably going to be kind of chunky. So what we're going to do first is we will go to Isabel. And we'll
Yo.
see. Isabel, what in particular are you going to look at the Standing Stones about?
I really want to see if there was any difference to it in this side of this plane of existence, if you will, compared to what we already seen.
Sure. Well, you can see as you approach it, you can see that all of the sort of rubble and debris that was left strewn about after you guys did it in the material plane is here as well. It's like a dull reflection of what you guys have been doing in the material plane. Only you don't see any beings from that plane around and about.
Okay.
So it's like a mirror. It's like a mirror dimension, if you like, where you're seeing something that exists in the material plane bleeding through into this realm, but it's not the same realm. So yeah, you're seeing that the Standing Stones are much the same as on the other side. They were created by hand many millennia ago by mortal hands, and that's basically what you're seeing here as well. Is that they are still stones, they are still hewn with care, and they still show the signs of age, but there's nothing different about them physically just by looking at them.
Oh shoot! I thought I was on something then.
Would that you
Well,
were.
if there's no real changes, I guess I better get back to the others.
Sure. Again, I'll just let you approach who you want to approach. Make your way through the town, and you'll find your way there.
I
And
cannot see
Aldrin,
for the life of me.
Mm-hmm.
Aldrin, you are stood looking at this sort of draconic person. They're a dragonborn. which is to say that they have the appearance of a full dragon. They don't have like a humanoid face. So they've got the snout and the scales, but they stand with a humanoid torso and legs, and they are, you know, for all intents and purposes, a person. They are just a dragon person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What would you be saying to this person, if anything? They're sort of like sharpening one of their claws with idly with like a dull blade.
So Aldrin would be trying to figure out how to ask them about like why everybody's here, but we kind of know that because of how you've explained to me. So it's
Yeah.
basically the character gathering the information that you've already given me. But asking further about um you know, is there an organization here, I guess, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like
Well, just say what
I
you
don't
want
want
to
to say
say.
like membership club,
Just say what
but
your character would say, and we'll just have this conversation.
uh, that's what I'm struggling with, man. Um,
Can I help you? You sort of stood there just staring at me.
hello, uh, yeah, I was so there's a lot of us around here, huh?
And by us, you mean...
Dragonkin.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is
there's a
there like a
few.
club?
Do we look like we hand out memberships?
Not particularly, but I don't know.
What's your experience of non-dragonkin?
Depending on the person, they can be okay or not.
And do you live in a normal way, integrated with the rest of society?
No, I lived on the outskirts of the village, but you know, they kind of asked me to leave, and that's why I'm with the folks I'm with now. And
Let me
well, I
guess.
don't think I'm supposed to go back there, so I don't know where I'm going exactly.
Let me guess. They asked you to leave because of something to do with a dragon.
Yeah,
Right. Um, Steve has
I think
just spammed Discord is playing up
Victor's.
9 times in chat. I
Yeah,
think Discord might be
Yeah,
playing up,
your
guys.
foundry's playing up, Steve.
I think everything's playing up.
I think this might be a Steve problem. Look, I'm not new to this. I've lived in this place for a long time. I don't see things changing anytime soon without somebody intervening for us, because we've tried to change it from the inside and people just don't want to know. They think we're monsters. We look like monsters and we got scales, so... Actually, at this point, you can see him narrow his eyes and look at you with a cocked head. You don't look like you've got your scales in yet.
No.
He's sort of
Well,
growing them up
a
here a
little
little
bit.
bit. Yeah, he like points
Little
towards
bit.
his eyebrow ridge and he's like, you're sort of growing them up here a little bit. Is this a new thing or is this an old thing?
Well, it's been growing. The little horns have been growing over all the years, you know, but just little by little. The scales are starting to be new. Uh, but
Okay.
I sort of figured it was because of my parents, you know, only one of them's a dragon.
Right. I'm mighty sorry, by the way. I'm Matthias.
Oh, I'm Aldrin. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Aldrin. We don't really, in answer to your first question, we don't really talk to one another. We just
Oh.
kind of keep ourselves to ourselves. There's
That's kind of a
other
shame.
things besides. We do There are some people who I'm familiar with around here, but this ain't really the realm that you come to when you want to talk to people, you understand?
Oh, well, we just kind of ended up here anyhow.
Yeah, I'm curious about that, but hey man, it ain't nothing for me to ask. Well,
Oh,
I'm
I don't know,
I'm
but I might
excited
be
for
able
you
to
to get
find.
your scales in. That'll be a great day.
Yeah, thank you.
This is a bit of a personal one. Do you have any
Hmm?
wings starting yet?
Mm, not yet, I don't think. But I
Some
don't know.
people do, some people don't. It, there's all flavors. It's just it's cool if you do. I don't. Um, I'm I'm Dragonborn. I was born this way. I didn't change, and I ain't getting no
Hmm.
wings at no point. But there are some draconic people of your kind who do.
Yeah, the claws came through a while ago, but the horns have been here the whole time. The scales are kind of new.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but
And your
it seems
eyes?
to grow with as I'm getting older, but also with my magic.
Yeah. Have your eyes changed much?
Gotten a bit brighter.
Okay. Well, if you ever have any problems, you know where we all hang out now, suppose.
Yeah, good to
Welcome
know.
to it.
Thank you.
I'm expecting someone, so I don't mean to be rude, but would you
Oh,
mind?
have a great day. Bye.
You too.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Aldrin. And I guess we would just return to the rest of the group.
Hey.
Victor is not back in Discord yet. Discord's playing up, said 9 times in chat, and Victor then left and has not returned.
I think Discord's playing up.
I think Discord might be playing up. So why don't we go
I'm not
with?
sure, but it might be.
So Aldrin's had their interaction. Victor is absent. Isabel's still on the way back to the group. Ash and Briar are sort of stood back, just taking everything in. Ruby, is there anything in particular that you would be focusing on at this point?
I'm scuppered because I was going along with Victor because I'm like, I don't think Ruby has a particular keen interest at the minute. So sugar. I'm having to require to think. Ooh, I guess Ruby would be on the way to Rumpelstiltskins. That's basically what I was thinking because she's still got the Raven cloak, is in Odin's Raven's cloak.
Yeah, you do.
And she knows that she's pissed them off a couple of times at least.
Yep.
So she'd want to try and return it. That's
I've kept
Ruby's
a tally of it.
prerogative.
I have kept a tally of it. I've got it in my Word document.
I know
how many
you
times
have.
I've used it.
I know you have. I think I only used the perception check like 2 or 3 times, and then Merlin was like, and Ruby was like, oh.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I was like, yay. Well,
yeah, because I remember I did like such a low perception check to begin with that Ruby was just like, oh, it's just a cool looking cloak.
yeah. Hey, there's no light source in there, so let me just add one. Let's see. So yeah, you.
Yes, I'm not exactly sure where I am going. Oh, there.
Yeah, directly ahead of you. So the door is unlocked. It's just a push door with a bell at the top, the usual.
Yeah.
It unlocks. You step your way in. I'll be with you shortly. You just have a look in the shelves and I'll be right with you. He's got his head down underneath the countertop, just like you see junk flying out everywhere. There's like a brass like pot flinging over the counter. There's a bunch of like rusty keys that go in a different direction, and he's just like trying to rummage his way through a pile of rubbish at some point.
Ruby has
Ruby's
spun
just gonna
around
watch
again.
and not really say anything. Yeah, Ruby's having a great time.
Ruby's I don't know, exhausted. you just here you go.
Thank you.
It's scroll. If you're selecting your character and you scroll, then it will rotate your character. So I
Cool.
recommend you not to scroll while you have got your character selected.
I'm not
or it will
scrolling, so
roll
I
you.
don't know what I'm doing.
It also works with Shift and Control as well. If you got
I'm
those
literally-
held down,
I
and
don't.
you are
I'm.
rolling.
You're suggesting I have the ability to use a computer or mouse with any extra dexterity. So I don't know how I'm managing it, but we're going with it.
I see why you picked a very dexterous character as a form of fantasy now, because you can't do that IRL. Anyway.
You know what?
Oh, you're gonna be hurt later.
I will feel that tomorrow.
So you will be delayed onset because I can't do tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I will show you my
hey!
dexterity another fucking day.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, and I'm probably not going on Tuesday either, so it'll be next Friday. There you go then.
Yeah, it will be. Anyway,
Yeah.
me
So-
and you will just arrange our schedule for the next week. But
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
continue.
Rumpel finally gets what he was looking for, and he comes up top with a candle in his hands and puts it on the counter. Hello again. Can I help you?
Hello again.
I do like repeat custom.
I don't know how you'll. I just would like to give you this cloak back.
Oh,
I've
no
enjoyed
refunds. No
using it.
refunds. No refunds.
I'm not even asking for any money back, or I would just like to give it back, please.
I won't accept
Give it to
it,
someone
but that's
else.
very nice of you to do. You're welcome to give it to someone yourself, but you can't give it to me.
Why can't I give it to you?
Oh, well, I'm sure you've learnt by now that they're all enchanted. You try and let go of it, something will happen.
So even if I gave it to someone else, wouldn't it then come back to me?
I'm not so sure on that one. It's worth a try, though. No one's ever really tried to bring things back and succeeded. That's all I'll say. It don't work to bring it back to me, but giving it to someone else, I'm sure someone's tried. Usually I don't get to hear from people, though.
Have you... Did you make the enchantment? Or someone else?
I'm not sure that we're in business together, so I will not answer that one.
Can I do like a perception or insight check on that? To try and work out how shady he's being?
Give me an insight check. Yeah, sure. 15's decent. I'll give you something for 15. You can tell that there's something that he's not saying. He sort of looks shady on a general day-by-day basis anyway. He is a swindler. But the fact is that at this point, there is something else that he seems to not be saying.
So... Are you saying only if I was in business with you, you'd tell me about the enchantment? Or... How do
Well,
you...
I'm just gonna. By the way, while we're doing this, I'm just gonna move Isabel's token to be with the rest of the group.
Thank you. I couldn't see where they were, so.
Yeah, it's all good. You were on the other side of buildings. That's all.
Mhm.
So the question was, what do you mean if we're not in... Okay, so if we're not in business. Well, what kind of a business owner would I be if I shared all my secrets with people who I am not associated with? This is not one of those situations, I'm afraid.
I'm not looking to steal your business practice if that's what you're worried about. It's more of just... I don't want this cloak anymore. And I don't want to give it to someone else and land them in a worse position than me.
Well, as
I've got
previously
enough to worry
stated,
about.
The cloak I can't help you with, but I could give you something else if you would like. This candle in particular is very, very interesting candle.
I'm not particularly interested in candles, I'm afraid. I
Oh, but it's so
don't really have.
bright. It really does light up the soul.
That may be, but I don't really have a place for a candle.
Oh, a campfire, or on a barrel, or if you go to one of our lovely taverns and stay the night. His long tongue comes out and picks his own nose with it. I'm sure that you would like something to leave here with. There's plenty on the shelves, plenty to go with.
The only thing I want to leave with is the weight of this cloak off my metaphorical shoulders. And if you're refusing to provide that, then there'll be no more business from me.
You are a
And
true
anyone else around.
wordsmith. You have quite a way with words. I would say that I do as well, and I can see some of your friends outside. Come in, come in. I've got some lovely deals for you if you do. All of you outside can hear that.
I don't want to go in,
Aldrin does.
but I will.
Neither do I.
Ash goes in as well. Oh, I do like you, the blue one and the green one. I'm a big fan, big fan. We've got all of the good colours in here, haven't we? A red, a green and a blue. I do like it. What can I get for you all? I've got plenty of deals, plenty of good things.
Well, I like my hat still, and my shoes don't talk anymore, so we're on a good roll here.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. But as I was just telling your friend, there are no returns. So if that is
I don't
a
wanna return
downside
them.
to the product, then I'm afraid I can't help you with that one.
I don't want to return them. They're mine. You can't have them.
Oh, well, that's a good one then. A pleasant exchange. I enjoy a nice customer, and you are a very nice customer. Is there anything that I can give you in return for your pleasing words on my products? How about this candle? This candle's very nice.
What
What's it
about
do?
information?
Information? Well, I seem to remember this not going that way last time. I gave you information in exchange for you taking items, if you remember. That's how I do my business.
But what's the candle do? Other than light.
Well, while it's light, you won't die. That's a good one, isn't it?
Is that only here?
Well, it's wherever you are. The candle doesn't need to be anywhere near you, but so long as the candle is alight, then you won't die.
If it goes out, do you die?
Oh, I wouldn't want to be the one to reveal the tricks, but you might have caught me on this one. Yeah, the moment that the candle burns to nothing, you die. Yeah.
Can you keep adding wax?
No, it's
What if you put it in one of those drippy wax things that keeps the infinite candle going forever? Because it catches all the wax from the candle in the bottom and then it makes a new candle.
You'd be welcome to keep on to it. I have a feeling that you might just live longer without it. But it's up to you if you want to. Or you could give it to one of your enemies and try and convince them it's something good. I don't mind. Whichever way it goes. Whatever floats your goat.
And if I take your candle, will you answer Ruby's question?
Yes,
Oh,
here,
no,
please.
You don't take
Okay,
the candle.
I'll take your
Aldrin.
candle.
Oh.
Aldrin takes the candle,
Can I-
ignoring Ruby's advice.
Can I
Yeah,
walk
Ruby
in?
really tried.
Ruby was there like, please don't take the candle. Aldrin
Can I-
takes
But now
the
we get
candle.
information.
Isabel, what would you like to do? Sorry.
I would like to go to a shop and have my axe drawn and say, how about information for exchange for me not lopping your head off?
Go for it, Isabel. Go inside.
Oh god. I'm pretty sure Rumpelstiltskin's like a level 17 sorcerer, so this is going to backfire massively.
I need to
But
remind
we're
myself what
supposed to
his
get some
character sheet
information.
is, actually. You know what? You're not far off there, Ruby.
I thought I remembered correctly.
You're not exactly correct. There's some split there, but yeah,
Roundabouts, yeah.
we're
Very strong is Rumpelstiltskin, guy.
quite strong. Yeah, quite strong. If you took him down, he'd probably take 2 of you down with him at least. But you're welcome. You're welcome. You don't know that from me. Isabel doesn't know that information.
No.
Only
I'm
Shen
just trying
does.
intimidation.
Ruby's not said it out loud. Ruby can't really know. It's B that knows.
Yeah. So Ruby and Isabel don't know that information. So if Isabel would go in there and threaten Rumpelstiltskin, then please go ahead.
Can I do an intimidation check?
Yeah, you can do an intimidation check. So you draw your axe, and you've got this new, more powerful axe than he's seen you with before. And you hold it up towards his throat. Give me an intimidation check. And what is it you
I'm
say
not
to
holding
him?
up to his throat yet. I'm just drawing it up. I'm just there tapping it next to tapping the axe in my hand. You know.
I would say that I'd say that Rumpelstiltskin's been around the block a few times, and he's seen enough adventurers trying to like muscle him over. I don't think that this one's going to go particularly well, so this would be disadvantage. So give me another check and another flat roll, and we'll take the lower of the 2 rolls.
Dang
A
it.
12. So a 12, and we'll give him his insight check. Which, by the way, he adds a plus 13 to this.
Oh, so I'll lose either way.
So he gets a 29. And yeah, he sort of looks you up and down as you're stood there, Isabel. And you see that his grin doesn't shift. His eyes don't twitch. There's not a drop of sweat on his brow. He gets out a hooked claw from one of his awful, unkempt fingernails that is literally just a fingernail that's grown into a claw. And he like scratches in between his teeth that look rotten and maggoty. Can I help you, young one? Perhaps some oil for that lovely weapon of yours.
I don't want anything from you.
Well, I'd love to give you something. If you change your mind, you know where I am.
I got a nifty candle.
Oh, you did. I've got more of those as well.
Information for Aldrin.
Please don't burn that candle.
What
I'm not
information would you like?
Aldrin?
Some shit for brains
It's your
called Shut
deal.
Wobble just got
What do you
yeeted
wanna
because of
know?
spam detected.
You guys had a question. Ask.
Shut Wobble sat in the corner for 10 seconds.
I
and
don't
now
have a
they're allowed
question.
to
I have a
rejoin the
request,
kids'
Aldrin.
table.
Oh. Well, that's had a question.
I'm not sure. Maybe we should discuss the question first before I pick one.
All right.
What are
do you
your
wanna ask
ideas?
about?
Well, I mean, there's several. There's, learning the sign language. There's what happens now
Well, I
that
can learn sign language with comprehend languages, so we can take that off the table.
He walks over to the
there's-
corner of the room and starts fiddling with this elongating rack. Starts pulling on different cogs and whistles while you're doing your little discussion.
I'm gonna scooch away just in case something goes awry.
So untrusting.
Look, I don't know if something's gonna pop off and like smack me in my beak. I need that to eat. So, I mean, what should the question be? Because there's so much that we need to know.
Are we more keen on something to do with Ragnarok or the rocks?
Oh,
Or
that's a good
ox.
point. Oh,
Or
Isabel, you looked at the rocks on this side. Was anything different?
Nothing to change. exactly as we left it at the other side.
Alright. Could ask about Jack. One more
What would we
line.
about it though?
Suppose it all goes around background to Ragnarok.
I
So,
suppose it does.
so basically, we just. All right, Aldrin, form the question about Ragnarok. That would probably be the best, since you can comprehend languages. I'm sure you can comprehend a great question, because I don't know what to ask.
I don't think that's how that works, friend. I think I understand what they're saying, not how to put it together.
I mean,
Mechanically,
if
that
we
is
know-
true.
we don't
You're
know
just
where-
able to comprehend their language. You're not able to form it yourself. And it's only for the duration of the thing.
Yeah.
if we don't know how to ask about Ragnarok, I think Rumpelstiltskin might know where Ox is.
B, I don't know if anybody else is hearing this,
You're a
but your
magical
Discord's
robot.
going a bit
Yeah,
weird.
robot.
Magical
Oh,
robot.
sorry. Be right back.
That was better though when you said
That was
sorry.
actually better when you said
Yeah.
that. It sounded like you
Oh,
had
am I
some
now
phone in-
better? Is
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
is this
yeah,
alright?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
You're
yeah,
good
yeah.
now.
It
I don't
sounded
know what
like
happened there.
it was the kind of thing
Momentary
where
fish.
it was the kind of thing where it sounded like you were getting a text coming through in like old world mobile phones, and you'd get like that.
How weird.
Yeah, it was like you were talking through treacle. Or something.
Apologies.
It's back to
No,
normal
it's
now.
better
Sorry.
now.
I will restate what Ruby said, which was something. If we can't form a question about Ragnarok, can we potentially ask where Ox is? Do we feel like Rumpelstiltskin knows?
Yeah,
Well-
but he might leave, so maybe we should find out where he's like hunkered down.
Yeah. Where like his base is. I feel like Rumpelstiltskin's probably more likely to know than others.
You're a robot again.
No, it's fine. I understood.
I'll be back.
All right.
I'm not sure if Rumpel would know where Ox is.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't know, then that doesn't count as our question.
Or does it, though?
No, because if he can't give us an answer, then we didn't get information, did we?
But no is still an answer.
But that's not information. We're looking for information.
Oh, yeah.
I think your friend is right, he says over his shoulder.
Who you say that to, me?
He doesn't reply.
Oh, was it to me? Oh, wait, no, those are questions. Don't ask him that.
Blech. Oh, God.
I nearly caught you. I nearly caught you.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah.
I'm an evil bastard. Okay. So, you've still got a question to ask.
Well, it was your deal, Aldrin, so go ahead.
Huh. What information can you give us about Ragnarok and Ox?
Plenty of information.
Oh, no.
No.
Uh,
This is the can I go to the loo? No. Yes, can you?
I'm not the person for this.
This is legit
Right.
why I
Oh,
thought
really?
someone else needs to ask this, because like Mars entered this whole like session saying my brain isn't in it to talk to this dragon right now, and you're currently putting all of the pressure on Mars to then talk to Rumpelstiltskin in riddle questions.
But it was
Let's maybe
Mars's
get someone
deal.
else's to do it though.
Gave it to you. You
Yeah,
had a question.
Mars gave it
and
to
sounded
you.
like you had a
Let's-
specific fucking question.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to do shit.
I'm not pointing blame at anybody, but I am saying that this is a hilarious situation when Mars has said that anyone can do it but them. So maybe let's get someone else, but I am still going to
No.
uphold this because I gave you an out on the first one. I can't give you an out on the second.
No, I thought it was a damn, I don't know, a general question that they would give us all the information they had. I don't know. I'm not good at this, man.
How about this? I've got a lovely thing for you. I think that you'd very much like it.
Is it a taco?
What is a taco?
A flappy piece of bread holding meat.
Some people say
Ah.
it's a sandwich.
I don't know what one of those is. What's a sandwich?
2 pieces of bread with meat in between.
Oh, they sound very much alike.
Yeah,
No, what
That's why
I've got
some
for
people say
you,
they're the same.
I have this concealed blade.
Abby.
Where's Victor at? I know that
I
he likes
found
to
a
play.
blade last time.
Well, Victor did join briefly and then left again, so I think he's probably still having some problems. Yeah, he holds up this. It's like it looks. It's imagine like the thin, like tapered point of a rapier, but made much shorter. Like say, I don't know if you've seen Game of Thrones, and it's been a while now since it was on. But the sword that Arya
Needle.
Stark used, needle, exactly. So it's like that. So it's like that, and he says it's like a concealed blade. It's almost like an offhand blade that has the dexterity and the use of like the versatility of needle of like a rapier, like a mini rapier, basically. This is a concealed blade. If you take it, I'll give you some information if that's something that you're interested in.
Concealed
Sure.
from who?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? You'll have to attune to it first and figure out.
Sure, I'll take it. Why not?
Oh no.
And there you go. He hands it out to you, handle first.
Yoink.
And it disappears in your hand.
Do I still feel it in my hand?
Yes.
If I grab the hilt of it, or the blade part, and release the hilt,
Mhm.
and hold it the other way around, do I see it then?
Nope.
Do you guys see it?
They do see it.
Why are you grabbing the sharp part?
Yeah, it's right there.
It's right. I don't see it.
Can you paint it and then maybe see it?
I don't know. They're probably have ink. I could try with that. Or taking a piece of string and tying it around it. Can I see the string?
You don't see the string, no.
Interesting.
Sorry, my brain wasn't engaged because I was entering those two things into your inventory.
Okay. Another strange thing. Okay. Now,
Okay,
carefully
do you want me to
feeling
ask?
back to the hilt of it, grabbing the hilt of it again. Is there a sheath on this thing?
Well, no. Sorry, it's just the blade. I can give you the hilt as well. But that one, well, I put it down here somewhere. I don't know where it is, though.
Do we see it?
No. You'd have to still search for it. It's not just gonna, like, stand out to you in a
No,
shop
I
full
just
of bric-a-brac.
I didn't know if like he couldn't see it because he owned it.
You don't know if that's the case, but it's not like you would know a magical enchanted
Investigation looking
sheath.
for invisible.
Do you know what I
sheath.
mean? A 17 isn't going to do it, no.
I don't see it either.
Yeah, me either.
As previously stated, a 17 isn't going to do it.
Look, I didn't try to roll the same thing. Okay?
With advantage, essentially, between the two of you, and you got the same number. Okay, well, you want information. What would you like to ask?
Where is Ox's base of operations that he spends most of his time at?
Well,
And
his
by
farm.
ox, we mean bury, not an ox.
Yes.
So if I were to say at the farm.
Nope, that is not the correct ox that we are referring to.
No,
That is
the guy
not
who
why
came
I
up on a
got the invisible
projection
pointy.
like 2 or 3 times and did an announcement that everyone saw. Him.
The one who killed Jack.
Well,
Rumpelstiltskin's not going to know that, Ash.
you've given me some nice information now. I feel like I should probably repay you with a
Okay.
gift.
That's about the sheath.
How about you take this cloak?
We're gonna do business the way you do. We gave you information, now you take this cloak.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you've got me there. I was going to clarify the last bit of information for you, since I already gave you an answer. I can either clarify the point, or I can take the cloak. It's your choice. I gave you information
Ruby's
that
head.
satisfied the question.
I'm looking at Ruby. I'm letting Ruby decide this one.
Ruby, you just see like the absolute like split in her head of really wanting to be selfish and get rid of this cloak, but knowing that we need to know about Bury, and she's really struggling to know what she actually wants to do. Oh dear. So does B. B knows what's better for the group. B doesn't.
What does
I
the
fucking
cloak?
hate this, man.
What does the cloak do again?
Oh, Ruby has pissed off Odin. Hang on, let me do this in character. Are you asking in character or is this a Shen?
No, I'm asking in character.
Oh, great. Hang on.
Sorry, I don't have a voice.
So, if I wear the cloak is made from the feathers from Odin's ravens, and they support your skills of perception, but unfortunately, they track it every time you do that. So, Odin's ravens are not my biggest fans. And I feel like we've already pissed off one god. And I kind of made a deal with another. I really
Wouldn't it
don't want
maybe
to have a
not be
list of
bad to
gods.
use it to get his attention to ask for help?
Odin helping?
You
Helping?
never know. He
He's a
might not
wise
want
one,
Ragnarok
Odin.
either.
He's a wise one. He gave up one of his eyes for future knowledge. If you could get his appreciation and his will, then you would certainly have his help. But yeah, Hugin and Moonin would be a big it would be a big hurdle for you to have to surmount. As trying to get Odin's will on your side and change his mind might be difficult, since Hugin and Moonin means mind and will. So really you're trying to persuade the ravens to be your friend.
Okay.
And I've
Seems
really
like a
not
good
made them my
starter
friend.
for that is return their feathers.
I want to return their feathers, but how do I get their attention? I have a cloak of their feathers. The first
Use
time
the
I meet
cloak of
them,
the
I'd rather
feathers.
not have like. Oh, I'm literally. Ruby's going through some shit right now. I was in the fur trade, yet I have a cloak plucked from the feathers from Odin's ravens. Do you not see the irony that I am stuck in?
I think it makes a lot of sense. Why wouldn't a taxidermist have taxidermy?
Ruby is literally gobsmacked. And doesn't know what to do.
I might not understand it.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
Well, yeah, I get the
Ruby, not
point.
me.
I get the point. Yeah. The feathers are essentially the fur of these creatures, and Ruby was a slave in the fur trade. So to be having it and using it is a conflict of interests, I think, is what Ruby is getting across.
I have a question.
But it gets their attention to pay attention to you, so like they could come and like, hello, here it is back. Only did it to get your attention, so you could have this back.
How many times have you used it, might I ask?
Me?
Comes back over to the counter.
Only a handful, I think.
Enough to ruffle their feathers, pardon the pun, but not enough to get their eye on you, pardon the pun. Perhaps you do a big, grand use of it.
I have a question for Rumpelstiltskin.
I have an answer for you.
I'm not asking for information as much as what it would take to get information.
You take one of my gifts. That's what the price is.
I don't suppose you'll be interested in my book.
And what book would that be?
Isabel takes it out of her bag and presents it.
What book is it?
I've only got one book on me. It's literally like the laws of the world and stuff.
Oh, like back law, like history and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, what does this book mean to you?
I read it every night, but I'm willing to give it up so we can both have a question and Ruby can give her cloak back.
I won't take it from you, but I will ask something of you.
Depending on the answer, I may go ahead. Can't promise anything.
Burn it.
If I do, will you take the cloak back and answer a question?
I think you've got yourself a deal. One question, and I take the cloak back. Now, are you sure, Miss Ruby, that you don't want to go ahead with your plan? I know that Mighty Odin is very wise.
I'm willing to do
Ruby
it.
turns to Aldrin and
I think we need a god to fight a god.
Do you think we should keep the cloak?
I think we should call the birds.
Okay. Ruby looks quite almost withdrawn in this decision.
I'll do it if you want me to.
Nods. No, I won't risk anyone else having Odin's anger on their side. We'll just stick with me. Let's not spread it around.
Ruby,
But I'll keep it. And then...
I'm willing to do this so you can do both.
Do both?
Question and give back the cloak if you really want to.
I think Aldrin makes a good point, though.
I'm not going to let Hugin and Moonin have their feathers back, though. It's my cloak, and I took it from them.
But it's not your cloak anymore.
Point.
No.
It's Ruby's cloak now,
But if you return it back to me, then it will be my cloak once again, and I am not giving it back to those birds. Sorry, young one, he calls over to Ash in the corner. I don't have anything against birds per se, and you are a resplendent example of one, if you don't mind me saying. It's just that those birds and I have history, and I am not giving them their plumage back.
I think they'll
Ruby
be
looks quite
happy
angry
if
by
we
this.
offer it back to them.
No, I appreciate your offer, Isabel, but I think Aldrin makes a good point. I think maybe we need a god on our side. Maybe we just need to clarify the information on where Burry is.
I put my book back away. All right.
Thank you, though. And Ruby comes and puts a hand on Ruby's shoulder, or a paw, if you will.
Really also
You- but
don't
you
wanna
just- thank
lose
you.
the history of the world.
You just put a paw on your own shoulder. Ruby just put a paw on Ruby's shoulder.
Oh, is that what I said? Sorry.
Ruby gives herself
I'm
a
just
hug.
stupid, don't mind me. Yeah,
Self
Ruby
love.
maybe Ruby goes to do it to you and then just haha, sucks to be you, and does it to herself. Ruby's just an arse, basically. So yeah.
I love Moana.
So Rumpelstiltskin, can we ask for that clarification on the information that you offered?
I told you to begin with, Ox stays at his farm. By which I mean, Buri Ox stays at his farm.
Where is his farm?
Well, now, that's a different question. I feel like we need another trade. You know what? We've had so many trades between us that this time I won't give you something that is cursed. I might just give you something nice instead. Something that I think you might like.
A taco?
It kind of sounds a little bit like that, I guess, but no, it's not. I'll give you one free message to be used through Ratatosk. Ratatosk.
B kind of knows who that is.
Mhm.
Will you allow Ruby to do a history or religion check to see if she does know?
Sure. Either or.
Which would you prefer? Either or.
Either or, either or.
Never mind.
Ruby really has no idea.
Ruby has no idea. I will keep my mouth shut.
Ruby thinks that this is actually some kind of taco. A message to
Ruby now
tacos.
really wants a cheese sandwich.
Nice.
Nope.
No, Aldrin doesn't know either. Ash doing a religion check. You have a better idea of what it might be.
Okay, so what do I think it might be?
I'm waiting to see if Isabel gets a higher roll. History or religion?
Oh, by one.
Okay, between the two of you, I think that you can sort of fill in the blanks for each other. Because, Ash, you are aware of the natural side of things, being that you are a cleric of nature. And Isabel, you are aware of, the historical side of things, being that you're kind of a... I mean, in many ways, you're a cleric of the book, as you like to read so much. Ratatosk is basically like a squirrel demigod. In Norse mythology, as in this realm, in the homebrew, Ratatosk is like a squirrel, basically an immortal squirrel who runs up and down the world tree, which is to say goes between realms to pass messages between the eagles that live on the top of it and the Nidhogg who dwells below the three roots. So it's basically like a messenger. It's a god messenger of the Norse pantheon. But it
And
is
how
a
to
squirrel.
talk to Hugo and Mugo?
It's a squirrel. It carries messages. So you have a message. If you take this gift from Rumpel, you've got one message that you can deliver via Ratatosk to one recipient. But that would be one of your choice, and it would be only one, and only one message. You aren't guaranteed a reply, and you aren't guaranteed that this is going to be taken well.
But could we potentially send word to the birds about having their feathers
It would
and
be
wanting to return?
anybody in
time?
existence.
It'll be what?
Anybody in existence.
Oh.
I don't know if that would be a good message to send. Yet.
Unless we apologize and say that we have acquired this item and would like to return it to the rightful owner.
Offering it back. I mean,
That.
the honest answer is that we didn't know until we spoke to Merlin about what it was.
I must mention
no,
that
I've not-
it's limited to 25 words, so you've got to keep it short. But 25 words and you can say what you need to say, I think.
Yeah, that's a good amount.
That's enough, right? Ruby looks
I'll
at
take it.
Isabel for help.
Shorthand?
Ruby looks at her own hand like,
I don't know.
And also Ruby's just gonna lean next to Aldrin and just be like, Are we sure this isn't just a sandwich? A taco? How can a taco send a message?
You can eat a taco.
Right.
can't eat the
so how do
squirrel.
tacos send?
You can eat a message too.
It's a
just like
squirrel,
listeners.
not a taco.
You can't eat a squirrel? That's
Not this one.
I mean,
feel
you
like that's-
can,
not
but
this
not
one.
this
Not
one.
this one.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Not this one, okay?
Noted.
Yeah. Wish to. Oh, I got it. No.
It's a living squirrel right in front of us, right?
No, this is a message for Ratatosk.
Oh.
Once it's ready,
We're
Ratatosk comes
creating
and
a
collects it.
message for the squirrel. Come and collect.
Yeah. You don't get ownership of Ratatosk. You get the
Right.
ability to send one message via Ratatosk. Ratatosk is a demigod.
Yeah, you can't just own demigods. Come on.
Whether they're friends or not.
I can't spell the word.
So I'm going to write it in here. In there you go. Ratatosk.
Potato.
Ratato, I guess, yeah. Like a potato rat.
Yeah.
Rat-tato made me think of like a rat tornado. Let's not do that.
We already had shark tornado. Let's not get the rat tornado.
Yeah,
How
Sharknado.
many? 7.
Sharknado.
Can I entertain you with anything else, or are we going to stand here silently writing messages?
I have 10 words. Wish to return your feathers accidentally acquired. Please need help.
I think that's a great message. Do we need to say we're sorry at the end though?
My bad.
I mean, we can say sorry at the beginning.
Apologies might be a bit more for the towards a god.
Like apologies, accidentally acquired your
Apologies.
feathers. Would like to return post haste.
Okay. Apologies.
Oh,
Accidentally acquired your feathers. Wish to return.
Is that?
Post haste.
Oh, all right.
Wish to return. Post haste. Please need help.
At this point, Rumpel has. It's like half an hour has passed at this point with you guys like going backwards and forwards with it. So at this point, Rumpel just gets towards all of the pile of stuff that he's just got out from underneath his his counter, and he's just gonna lie down in it and just like go to sleep while he waits for you guys to fix it.
Did you find the scabbard down there?
You just hear him snore in response.
Eepy.
So, apologies,
say, look-
accidentally acquired your feathers, wish to return post haste, please need help. That's 13 words. Anything
don't
else
know
that you
what
would
I
like
need
to
anymore.
say?
Need help. Fearful of Ragnarok. And
Okay, that's 16.
Yeah.
That's 18. You got 7 more.
Jack dead.
Dead,
Furry's fault.
dead, roaming the streets.
Say that last bit again.
Dead roaming the streets.
Dead roaming the
I was
streets.
gonna say go for what Tat said. That was better.
Yeah.
What did Tat say?
Furry's fault.
Uri's fault.
Jack
Okay.
dead. Buri's fault. Undead Rome.
One more word.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got to need help, and then what was the bit after that?
Need help.
I was counting. I
Jack's
wasn't writing.
dead. Buri's fault. Undead Rome. Okay.
What didn't you say at some point? Scared of Buri?
Something else. Yeah. Guys, help. Jack's dead. Something about Ox.
Yeah, Buri.
Yeah.
Jack dead. Buri's fault. You said something about fearful of Ox or fearful of Buri.
That's what I said first.
Do you want to put Buri's fault at the end after Undead Rome?
Yeah.
So then that would make this that I've
Fearful.
got so far 20.
Fear. Jack's
13.
dead.
19.
Undead Rome. Buri's fault.
I've got 19 at the moment, so fearful of Ox. That would make that 22. Thanks is 23.
Ragnarok is Buri's fault.
I have.
Yeah, Ox. Apologies, accidentally acquired your feathers. Wish to return post haste. Please need help, fear Ox. Jack's dead, undead Rome, Buri's fault, thanks. 3 more words.
Want Ragnarok gone?
Alright.
What do you think?
that what we'll put in?
Once stop Ragnarok.
Once stop Ragnarok. Okay.
Is everybody okay with that?
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yes.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
As a side note, in case no one's seen, I think Stee is not going to be able to return.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Discord is being evil.
Yeah.
I have to call it and catch up next week. That's fine. Right. So the full message. Apologies, accidentally acquired your feathers. Wish to return post haste. Please, need help. Fear Ox, Jack's dead. Undead Rome, Buri's fault. Thanks. Want stop Ragnarok.
I'm good with that.
And are you sending this to Hugin or Moonin or Odin or who?
Wasn't it
The
Odin?
mind. Who's the
But
mind?
it's the birds.
Who's
So
the
what do you mean
mind
wanna-
bird? Mind bird.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Mind bird. That's who we're sending it to.
Hugin, I believe.
Can
can-
we do a religion check to make sure?
You... Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it would be a religion check, to be honest. More of a history check. But you got a nat 1 anyway, so...
Yeah, so that it doesn't matter for me.
Mind bird.
Yeah.
Are we out of words?
Mind bird.
Let's see.
That's all the words. Yeah. But what do you want to say? Because we can rearrange, maybe.
Oh no, I was gonna say if this message like finds the wrong person, send it to the right one. But that's a lot of words, and I don't know how to make that smaller.
Maybe we have to trust in their communications department, so to say.
Mind bird.
Ratatosk. Ratatosk is the one that you're giving it through.
The best Tato.
Yeah, so you just need to decide which are you sending it to, Mind or Will? Hugin or Moonin? Mind. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have this message, and as you start to figure out what the words are going to be, you can see that the paper scrolls it for itself, like it's self-writing ink. And as you edit and self-edit and rewrite and revise, you see the words changing on the page. And then when you're finished and you finally decide what you want to write, then you see that the ink turns from a blackish blue to being like a glow around it, as if it's got like a backlight. And then this glow just wraps itself up, and it turns into one tight scroll. And as you say that you want to give it to the Mind Bird, who, by the way, I've just Googled it to try and find. They only ever talk about them in pairs, and they only ever talk about what they mean in pairs. So it's really hard to decipher which one's which. But yeah. I think that what they're saying is that Moonin is mind, because that's what we've got, the same origin of the same word. But but yeah, they're you say this word, and as you say Moonin, you see like vines coming down from the ceiling, and as your eyes sort of gaze up towards the vines, you see that where there was ceiling, there is now more like a hole, where like you might see the hole in the side of a tree, and then this like blue squirrel pokes its head out through it, and you hear it like chatter and like.
Hello, Tato.
And as it comes down and climbs down the vine, it grabs the what do you call it? The scroll from you, sniffs it, puts it into one of its pouches of its cheeks. It like sizes it down so that it can fit in there without making its cheek bulge too much. There's a little bit of a bulge there. And then it looks at you and chatters again. Like, and then climbs back up the tree. And you see the vines get pulled up behind it and the hole close. As you are then staring at this flat ceiling again, the like damp, stained, mouldy ceiling that there was before, Rumpel does not take care of his shop. You can tell that this message has been sent.
Yeah, I'm
Wow,
not surprised by that.
that was very good. You're not what, sorry?
I said I'm not surprised by that he doesn't take care of his shop.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was lovely. If you're not going to take anything more from my stores, I will ask you to be on your way. But you are welcome to return any time for any more repeat business. You do know that I am not an information point. I do sell wares.
Well, I seem to have gotten a lot of stuff for information.
Well, people pay in other ways. Let's just say that. But you have a good day, and I will bid you farewell. Goodbye.
Hopefully next time you'll have tried a taco.
I still don't know what it is you're saying. I think it must be something not in the common tongue, because that is definitely different from what I've heard before. And I've been around the block. Anyway, goodbye. Thank you for coming.
Salted red meat.
Goodbye.
The door closes behind you as if by an unfelt wind. This imperceptible
He was
wind.
so mad at us.
He farted.
Okay, so now you're back on the street again with Victor. Victor, of course, would want to talk to Areli, but Steve isn't here at the moment because of technical difficulties. So is there anything in particular that you guys want to be doing?
I'm wondering if technically we should rest. I don't know when we last long rested. I don't know.
It is
Or
definitely...
could we just go to the tavern?
It is definitely getting late now. You've been around and about today, and you've broken rocks apart, so you've been able to do that as well.
Bah. We spoke to a lava guy.
You did. You travelled to a
lovely.
different realm. You are in that realm
Yeah.
now.
Should we go to a tavern? I mean, there'll be lots of people there. Could be
Wonder if that
fun.
one guy's still there.
So, also, I'd like to make note that Aldrin put that candle in a little glass jar.
Cool.
And it's
Shall we head to
still
the tavern,
holding the
guys?
pointy thing.
Is
If
it
there is
the
one.
tavern that you were going to before, or is it like an inn? What?
I think we're going to the inn, right?
The inn would be the drinking place. That's where you witnessed so many people basically beating to death what's his name?
Peter.
Ratson?
Ratzenberger.
That's the one, Ratzenberger. I was saying Ratzenberger in my head, and I was like, wait, no, that's the Pope, isn't it? I think it's both. Anyway,
Pope?
sure there's one of the... Wasn't the German Pope called Ratzenberger? Sure he was.
Germany has their own
I have
pope?
no idea.
I'm sure he was. Am I going mad?
Yeah, it was 16th Pope. Ratzenberger.
Ratzinger!
Pope Benedict
Ratzinger.
the
Yeah. Joseph Aloysius Ratzinger.
Burger.
Not Ratzenberger, Ratzinger. But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys are all headed towards the tavern. Now, I do want to make this distinction. Do you want to go to the place that you last spent the night, which is the place that you have spent the night before, or are you headed to the inn, which is where you have drank before, where Ratzenberger was beaten to death?
B/Ruby was insinuating the inn where we had drank, where Ratzenberger was. So a lively tavern place rather than a place just to rest head.
Okay. I believe that was the place where it all fell into the sewers. I
Never
believe.
mind.
The place where you have all stayed before is the place just beyond that, which is the 4-bedded place. That's where you've slept before now.
That's
But-
where the owner literally just made her yeeted herself out.
Yeah, she left rather than upset you. So, where do you want to go, knowing that the place that Ratzenberger died is currently in the sewer?
Is there a new lively tavern that isn't in the sewer?
There are other taverns, but they aren't the kinds of places that have got beds. So they're like small drinking places, but just for like food and drink and good times in small groups, but nowhere to really lay your head. So it really depends on what kind of
Hopefully that
experience
lady
you want.
won't kick herself out this time, then.
I mean, we can try to be. I didn't know we were not nice before.
Maybe she'll be more comfortable because this isn't the first time. I don't know.
We could try.
So you know that there is
I mean, that's
there's a
if
few
she's
places.
here, right? We're in the Underdark, aren't we?
Oh,
Deep
yeah.
dark, yeah. So there's a few places. You can see that down towards the end of the alleyway that Aurelie and the person that she was speaking with have moved on down the alleyway. You don't know where to because you can't see them, but they have gone. You also know that around that area that there are some taverns. That they are further on down this kind of area. They are kind of here, and then there's 2 more behind it. I'm gonna need a decision. There's a lot of you just stood doing nothing. Where do you want to go?
Let's
To the
go here.
Lady Tavern.
Okay, so I'm just gonna drag your tokens for you then, because no one's moving anywhere.
Thank you.
So this is a larger kind of a place, but this is literally just the kind of place where it is just like there's people working in the
Aldrin
background,
wants to go where
and
we
there
can
is some
sleep.
drink. There are no beds in any of these. That's what I've been saying, is that there's no beds in any of these taverns. You guys are looking for somewhere to have a long rest, and you're specifically saying that you want to go somewhere.
Yeah,
that
I
you have been
think
drinking before.
The
Aldrin had,
ladies
or-
where we can sleep.
yeah, that's
been
what
saying
Aldrin
it.
said. That the ladies' tavern is in the
Right.
place with the lady who ran away.
Right. Okay. So this is the place where you were sleeping before. If you got,
Sleep.
if you want somewhere that you've been sleeping before, the rest
Yes,
of you,
please.
you gotta tell me that you want the place where you were sleeping before and not the place where you were drinking before, because I am not gonna take it that way. All right. So Victor comes in with you as well. This is the place where you have been sleeping in the previous nights. You don't see anybody here behind the desk. In fact, you see that a lot of the walls have got sort of like thieves' cant words carved into them. Victor not being here, I'm not gonna reveal too much about this without Steve being present. But yeah, there's just like it just looks like in childish scroll, like a bunch of different kids have basically scratched in, or somebody who's not familiar with the language, so to speak, have just been like carving these things in. But since none of you can really speak thieves' cant, you wouldn't really necessarily immediately recognize it as a language, because that's the whole point of thieves' cant, is that it hides itself by nature of its appearance. So you're not going to look
Aldrin
at it and
scratches
immediately
a funny
say,
little happy
that's
face
weird.
in the wall.
Yeah, there's a bunch of scratchings in the wall, and it looks like pictures, basically. So yeah, you all pick a room, I guess. Which rooms do you want to go to?
The one
Let's
that I'm
decide now
above.
who we're going to go with. You're going to go to this one?
Yep. I'm just going in the nearest one. The one that I'm
I think
north of.
the powerhouses sleep in the same room.
Okay. And then Ash is going to go with you. Briar, where are you headed? You're going in there, which I think means that Victor is probably going to stay in his room but keep the door open so that he can watch. And I think perhaps rig something to keep the door closed. So I'll give Victor a thieves' tools check to see if he can rig the lock to keep closed.
Aldrin's
And he gets a
only
15.
meditating for 4 hours and then can go keep watch in the outer room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I came in here with you, so I can keep watch over you for the first 4 hours.
Yeah. Okay. So, you all get your long rests. Before we move on, though, Ash and Briar, you have been worshipping Ear for a while, through the last session and through this. So, can I just get from you both a religion check, and you can do it with advantage each, just to see how well you have been able to contact Ear. 16 and a 21. So, Briar, you can feel that your connection is starting to grow, but Ash, you're starting to notice a little bit more, like, divine attention upon you. As if, like, you are looking out, but you can start to feel someone looking in as well. What kind of... It's not like a direct message that you can say in words, but what kind of feeling, what kind of essence do you feel like you're putting out there for Ear to notice? That was a question for
Briar,
Ash.
right?
That was a question
Oh,
for Ash.
Which one were you asking?
Ash, for the 5th time.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Um,
You got the higher
just
roll.
trying
It's only
to-
ever going to be you.
I'm just trying to make my presence known that I'm new. I would really like to follow their teachings and become a better cleric through them.
Okay. You feel the warmth of nature, like you can feel a connection to like the wood in the wood paneled walls, and the earth that's like forming the grout between the tiles, and the cotton and the goose feather down that's in like the pillows, and you feel more connected than ever, even to the sort of fabricated elements of nature as well around you. And you feel like if you continue this kind of pursuit, that you will be more able in time to focus on these kind of things. And you'll get better with your connection to Ear, and may perhaps one day even be able to speak directly. Aldrin, you have been looking towards getting one of your frog friends to be a familiar.
Ferdinand.
So we're gonna do your check now as part of your downtime for this
What's
long
my
rest.
roly-poly for it?
I believe, did we say that we were setting it at 100 and you had to basically just knock the total down by each roll each time?
Yeah.
So then
it
it will
just a-
be animal handling, I guess.
Okie dokie. Norman, animal handling.
Okay, so we're down to 86. That's a fairly decent roll. 14's pretty good.
That's a good start.
It's above average,
Ferdinand.
isn't it? It's above average.
Good job. We didn't burn the hut down.
Ferdinand Frog.
Yeah. Ferdinand, the fire-breathing frog.
Just making a note of this in my notes.
I have him in my loot.
Yeah. There we go. Right, I've got that in there then. Isabel, is there anything in particular that you're doing during your downtime for this?
Reading? As if you need to ask.
Is that the one book that you had before?
Yeah, I didn't burn it in the end, so I'm going to read it.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for in that book? It's sort of more like a reference book, isn't it? It's like a tome on the history of things. It doesn't really read like a fiction.
I'd like to read more about the squirrel messengers and the world tree.
Okie doke. Well, give me a history check then. And give it to me with advantage because you've got the book here.
Okie dokie, one sec.
Okay, with a 19, you can tell that you know the word for the world tree is Yggdrasil, which is essentially all of the realms and and worlds are all gathered together in the trees and roots. The branches and roots of this giant tree, which is believed to be like a metaphysical tree across time and space. That's what the Norse gods and the North pantheon believe. You also can see that there is mention of Ratatosk, but nothing more than just saying that it's a squirrel, blue squirrel. That it is a demigod. Well, in fact, I don't think even the book would know that it's blue. So you've got a hand up on the book for once. But you can write that note in the pages, I guess.
I'm doing so.
Ratatosk is has no allegiances, takes no sides, is a complete neutral, is just a messenger. Takes messages and then returns messages back if there are
Kato
those
is
to
the
return.
best boy.
And we don't suit messengers, do we?
So yeah, and then we've got Victor, who I believe would be like pondering on the idea of speaking to Aurelie and finding out where she's gone to, having come so close to speaking to her, and then the party going into Rumpel's shop. I think that he would probably be dwelling on the idea of that and how he just wants to be able to speak to his friend and see what the hell's been going on. Briar, is there anything in particular that you'd be focusing on during this night's rest?
I think Briar is still wrestling with the idea that the connection between her and Ear seems to come and go, and is starting to get a little bit frustrated by the fact that she seems to be losing the connection to Ear, or it's not as strong as it once was, and kind of questioning why that is. Like, you know, she feels like she's doing a decent, above decent job at clericing and not getting the feedback that she needs. And is sort of wondering like what she can do that could possibly reconnect her. Like she's unsure of what to do. Like she's already doing all that she can, and is now starting to question like what else can be done, or does she just have to find a new god, and is wrestling with the thought of the idea of my brain is farting right now, sorry. Nothing, nope, nobody.
Oh
How
yeah,
nobody
yeah.
offered to do like the whole dark clericing type stuff, so she might be thinking about that a lot too,
Right.
as the connection with Ear starts to kind of teeter back and forth.
Okay.
I'd imagine that it's growing. The feeling is of like disconnect is growing.
It's like taking root.
Yeah, and it's really starting to affect Briar's mental state. Like,
Yeah.
not going crazy per se, but just sort of, very, very frustrated.
And it looks like B has left the Discord. And
She says she's
Foundry.
feeling sick. She just felt sick out of nowhere and she had to tap out.
Fair enough. So then we will leave Ruby until next time, I guess. All right. So Briar, as you go to sleep that night, what do you think, with all of this weighing on your mind, what would be the last thing that you think about as you go to sleep? Like, what's that one thing that your brain holds on to? Is it nature? Is it the stranger? Is it current events? What's that one, like, just like a simple word or phrase or item that you can think of that would just be the last lingering thing that you see in your mind's eye before you drift off to sleep?
I think it would be nobody.
Okay. The as in the stranger,
Yeah.
the spider, as in. Okay. Okay. As you go off to sleep for the night, and you start to sort of, your eyes get heavy and your head gets like laid down on this pillow, and you can feel the straw in the mattress below you, and everything feels just as it should, and your mind isn't really focused on the idea of the nature in all of the things that you're in. Like your character wouldn't be aware of what Ash is feeling at this point, being a connection to all of the natural things in the room with them. You would be feeling the absence, like the spaces between, and feeling those spaces filled with something else. And as you close your eyes to dream and you see the blackness of the backs of your eyelids, you then feel something else with you. Well, hello. I wondered if you would be contacting me again, and I suppose you have in many ways. How can I help you?
Nobody? Is that you?
I've been known by that moniker before. I must say, I prefer it to Spider. And
That
she
is how
hisses
you
at that.
introduced yourself.
I never introduced myself as a spider.
No,
Myself as a
as
friend.
nobody.
I am a
Yeah.
friend. I never said nobody.
Well,
So, Benny, the cleric, called herself nobody, but she said that she worshipped nothing.
right.
So, for point of clarity, the stranger has never introduced himself as nobody, nor as nothing, and they prefer to go by neither of those.
Oh, okay. I got confused there for a second.
Yes, I know it's my own
Yeah.
fault. It's
Okay.
my own fault for putting a god and an NPC in called nothing and nobody. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the confusion over with. But yeah, that's basically the way that it stands.
Well,
How can I help? Think you're having a bit of a crisis of conscience or worship, religion?
yeah. Well, I feel like the goddess I worship, Ear, I feel like she has abandoned me.
What
My
makes you think
connection
that?
seems to, well, my connection seems to come and go, and I can't figure out what I'm doing to cause it to disintegrate at times, but it feels like it's just always teetering, and as a cleric, I need my goddess of worship or god of worship to be there in the time of need, and I just I don't feel like I can rely on Ira to hear my prayers anymore, and it's very disconcerting, and no, I
Oh, the
think we know.
irony. It's quite ironic, isn't it, that somebody called Ear wouldn't be listening in. This is where I
Yeah.
see the heresy and the pathetic hypocrisy of these gods, so called.
Well, I met nobody
Aye.
during my travels, and they seem to speak very highly of you. And
Well, she's with me now.
well, she said that if I ever needed help, that she would be there to show me how to possibly change who I worship. And, with that, I know come certain powers and things that I might have to give up, but isn't that the life of a cleric? That we make
Well,
sacrifices?
I like to give people favors. What is it that you want above all else? We'll be friends for sure, but what is it that you mostly desire?
I desire to help people in their time of need.
Might I ask, Briar, were you ever helped much when you were younger?
Oh, I was pretty much on my own. I didn't
Seems like
really
you're
have.
trying to reverse the roles in the universe, really, aren't you?
Well, you know, there's a lot of loneliness in the world and people who need help, and I want to help those people.
But much like positivity and negativity, light and dark, there can be no light without dark. To clear away all of the dark in the world, there won't be any light left over. You understand that, don't you? We can't
I
help everybody, nor is that the purpose of a cleric. You have to understand where your limits are and where the domain of your god is.
I don't even know where the domain of my god is anymore. She seems to have, I don't want to say abandoned because I still get glimpses of her guidance, but I definitely don't feel like one of her favorites anymore. And I need that support if I want to continue helping people.
I understand. Well, I am here for you as a friend, but I don't think that my path will collide with yours in the best ways. I think that perhaps you may want different things. You want to help people. My purpose here is to bring them into my world, to bring them peace everlasting. In the most final of ways. You see, when a person takes their last breath, I am not always the one to welcome them. These so-called gods have their own afterlives, and they've taken it upon themselves to overwrite mine. So I make deals with people, and when their time comes, they become mine and not these other pretenders. This is why nobody is with me now. And I'm sure that you've met many of my other friends.
What do you offer in this life that is so
As I say,
advantageous that I would give you my own?
favors. You have questions that you wish being answered that no person before has ever been able to give you. I happen to know a few questions that many of your group have got, but they've never asked me, and so I've never told. But if they ever should, then the hand would be extended to become a friend of mine. Ruby, as it happens, was the first to extend a hand of friendship to me, and it has worked in her advantage. She has become one of my kin, and I would defend her the same as any of my own, should that ever happen. But the fact is that Ruby had questions that wanted answers. She got a question with an answer. I happen to know that there are other questions on the minds of your other friends. I have delve deep into their conscious minds while they were unconscious. Victor is still a bit of a hard nut to crack, but the rest think I have an inkling of what their questions might be. For instance, your friend Ash has questions about their mother, father, what relationship happened before. Well, so happen to have answers to that, including the locations of both. But without a friendship there, I have no imperative to offer it. Now do I? So this is the rub. You have a favour to ask of me. I will give you an answer. It will be a clarifying answer. There will be no bells and whistles. It will be the naked truth. Whether that is painful or not, it will be accurate. We will be friends, and you will gain the benefits of such friendship, including, but not limited to, power, much as Ruby has gained. But you will be mine. When your time ends, you will be with me. That will be forever.
Can I think on it? Will you visit me in my dreams again?
Aye. Why don't I give you a couple of days, and I'll return then. Perhaps you will have had time to ponder on your relationship with Ia. See if you can get a listening ear, so to speak. If not, well, I'll be here to help. But we'll
And
give it that long.
What will you ask of me if I decide to turn myself over to you?
I ask nothing of a friend. Just that when your time comes that you will come with me.
And just to be clear, when my time comes is when my time ends. I
would not be the
no
one
longer
to
breathe.
I would not be the one to bring it on prematurely if that's what you're asking. I want my followers to remain on the earth so that they can spread the good word of my name. Remind others of friends that are out there beyond their reach that might just be in their reach. There are better people to help them than this cursed ox. Doesn't benefit me for you to be dead right away. But believe you me, when you do take your final breath, it will be to me that you come. You have a think on it. I think that you've got other things to be thinking about. Like the person trying to break into your door right now.
What?
And with that, we will switch over to Aldrin. Aldrin,
Don't leave
you
us like
are...
Yeah.
Aldrin, you are
Okie dokie.
doing your meditation. We're going back in time a little bit, because you are, of course, you only take a 4-hour meditation, so we're still during your meditation, going back a couple of hours from that interaction with Briar. You have the stranger coming to you in your sleep. Hello,
okay.
Aldrin. It's been some
Oh,
time,
hello,
hasn't
friend.
it?
It's been what?
It's been some time since we've spoken.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
I wonder. Called me friend. You've not committed. Not in the same way that Ruby has. What shall we do about that? Because I feel like I have great things that I can offer you.
Well, I don't know what you mean by that.
Power, knowledge, friendship.
Power, knowledge, friendship.
I've given Ruby some of her own power. is able to use some magic that I supply. She's defended your group against great tragedy by calling on my name in times of need, all just based on our friendship. I would be there for you if you were to commit.
What's the commit?
Well, what do you have to give?
Got a really messed up candle.
I would not be needing that. I was never truly alive to be dead, but that little trinket wouldn't do anything with me.
Think it would work on Ox. If I could get him to
Perhaps.
light it.
It's an idea.
I mean, he is not immortal of his own nature.
This is very true. One of the main reasons that I think the gods, quote unquote,
Fancy
are
cookies.
ridiculous. What kind of a god is not immortal? What kind of a god is not immortal?
Yeah. And then I suppose Olakoi doesn't call himself a god, does he?
Oh, Olakoi and I go back a long time.
I like him.
Olakoi was around
He's kinda
before
scary.
these gods.
Oh, like the fire guy. I can't remember how to
Fire
pronounce
guy?
his name. Yeah, the fellow who lives in the House of Lava.
Oh, I know who. Yes,
Yeah.
I don't remember him very well. I remember him being around at some point.
He said he was older than old. Like, older than everybody, basically. And, like, he kind of laughed at Ox.
I think I've been around for a long time, but might have been around longer. I don't really remember.
He said he was at the beginning.
But I was at the beginning. Don't remember
Maybe
him.
you know each other. And maybe you forgot, because it's been so long.
It's troubling.
Maybe you should go say hi.
Give me a perception check.
Perception. Where are you? There's like 3 P's. That's persuasion, performance, perception. Norman. No.
In the corner of your eye, you can see something happening, but you can't quite get a hold on what it is. If you look, if you look at them, you'll get another roll. But it's up to you whether you want to try.
Sure, let's check out the soot sprites. Come on.
Another 9.
Why?
And unfortunately, this does mean that you will have the effect of one of their abilities, unfortunately.
Oh, look, soot sprites.
Where was it again? There it is. Okay, so I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, no. Hell. Yeah.
Oh dear. And that too. Unfortunately, the this ability is a wisdom saving throw with a DC of 20. On a success...
Well, I'd never get that.
On a success, the creature takes 2d6 psychic damage, but can perceive your physical form for the next 24 hours. On a failure, the creature takes 4d6 psychic damage and suffers the stunned condition. You're going to take 4d6 psychic damage, which is 14 damage.
Okay.
So you'll wake up less healthy than you started.
Better than I thought it was gonna be.
Also, well, yeah, all of your concentration spells will have dropped because you're all asleep, so you can't concentrate on something while you're unconscious. But yeah, you end up waking up in a less than optimal condition, but you have already, because you were unconscious at the time that this happened, you have not suffered the stunned condition permanently because it will have passed during the time that you were in meditation. So you do wake up with less health, but at the very least you tried to see. You just unfortunately you made a poor roll of it. Not your fault, the dice, but you know, at the same time, it was something that
That's
has
just my
harmed
luck
you.
today, man. That's just my luck today.
Yeah, but it will correct with potions or someone just giving you a healing spell in the morning. But that's where we're at the moment. And I think because we've still got Ruby and Victor away from the table, that we will end the session here, and then we can finish up this long rest sleep thing for both of those next time. And yeah, we'll call it a day here. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. Been a bit of a weird one tonight. I don't know what's been different about it, but there's been a bit of an unusual atmosphere about it, the whole thing. Maybe I'm imagining things. Maybe it's the music.
Folks disappearing part way through.
Yeah, it's probably just that. No continuity with people staying for the whole thing. But yeah, that's been it for this session. Session 32. You've travelled further through the deep dark. You've spoken to Rumpelstiltskin. You've taken a long rest. You've managed to get some chipped off that full DC 100 check for your frog friend. You've managed to get a message off to Munin, the Raven of Odin.
Got a lot done.
And you've spoken to the stranger for a little bit. So you've got a lot done. We'll just finish this off. Excuse me. We'll finish this off next time. Back here. Same time and place. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thanks for being awesome. We're not going to raid. We only have one viewer, so we're not going to raid. There's not much point. But I wish you all the best of times. Have an amazing day or night or time zone, whatever it is you're doing. And remember, if you can't be good to yourself, then at least have fun. Love you all. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.